Good morning, yogis. Welcome to your Friday morning Vinyasa flow yoga. Hope you're all staying safe at home out there. I miss all of you. We're going to be doing Vinyasa flow this morning, opening up through our hips. So we will start lying on our backs. Our props that we'll need will be blocks. So coming to our mats in our reclined butterfly, grounding down, lying down, soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Let's lift those hips up and lengthen tailbone to the front of the room. And then set hips back down, settling in here. If you need to prop blocks under those knees, under those thighs, go ahead and use your blocks as we just settle in to our mats this morning, letting go of everything that's already happened in our week. Thanking ourselves for the hardest part of our yoga practice, which is showing up. So good job, yogis, making it for the hardest part of your practice. Taking a deep inhale breath in through the nose and exhaling out the mouth. Taking another full expansive breath in through the nose, expanding through chest, ribs, belly. And as we exhale out, just feeling everything sink further into your mat, gently letting those knees sink further out, starting to make space through our hips here. Just continuing to focus on our breathing here in our first few moments of our yoga practice. Slow, smooth inhales. And slow, steady exhales. Just picturing our breath as a tiny white light traveling up the length of the spine on the inhales. Filling that belly up with air, pausing at the top. And then that same tiny white light traveling down the length of the spine on the exhales as we let that belly button sink further towards the earth. Just turning our attention inward here as we take that inventory from head to toe, paying particular attention to those areas that feel tight or stuck this morning. Sending extra breath, extra love to those tight, stuck areas. Let's take about 3 more breaths here before we begin to move into our asana practice. Being gentle with ourselves today as we are going through this collective trauma together, this global shift. Always being mindful that we practice with self-compassion, self-acceptance, self-love. And finishing up, bottom of that last exhale breath, gently placing hands on outsides of thighs as we close those thighs together like we close a book. And stretching legs long to the front of the room, reaching arms overhead, reaching through toes and fingertips here. Big inhale. And on the exhale, hugging that right knee in, wrapping hands around right shin, just gently drawing that right knee up towards right armpit. Nice big inhale and exhale here. And then releasing right leg long to the front of the room. Stretching arms overhead, really reaching through toes and fingertips. Big inhale here. And on the next exhale breath, hugging that left knee in, wrapping hands around left shin, just gently drawing that left knee up, making space in that left hip. Might feel a slight pinch. Nice big inhale and exhale here. And then releasing. Arms overhead. Let's go ahead and bring both feet, both legs straight to the sky. Arms down long at sides, pointing and flexing both feet. Rolling those ankles around, pressing that low back into the earth. And legs apart here for a wide-legged forward fold on our backs, breathing space through inner groins. Maybe feeling it through outer hips. Nice big inhale and exhale here. And then gently closing those legs together. We're going to cross right leg over left, crossing at the knees. Bending those legs, either reaching for outer shins or outer ankles as we pull those legs towards the back wall here. Can keep our feet flexed, making space all through that right outer hip. It's nice, easy, gentle breathing. And releasing both feet, both legs, straight back up to the sky. Taking that stretch on the other side, so crossing left leg over right, crossing at the knees, bending those legs, reaching for outer shins or outer ankles as we pull our feet towards the back wall. That low back pressed into the earth, just making space all through that left outer hip. Letting go of any tension in the face, the jaw, softening around the eyes with each exhale. And then releasing, hugging both knees tight to chest, wrapping arms around both shins, rocking side to side, massaging that low back into the earth. And then rocking forwards and backwards along that spine. And eventually rocking up, rolling over shins. We're going to bring it onto all fours in our tabletop and work into our cat-cows. So in your tabletop, hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. We're going to inhale into cow pose, chin up, collarbones wide. We stick that tailbone up to the sky. Tops of the feet press into the earth. Exhaling into cat pose, doming our back, head drops, gaze at the back wall, separating through back shoulder blades. Inhaling, we're externally rotating these arms, those inner forearms, spinning forward. Exhaling into cat, pushing the floor away. Inhaling, crown of the head up, shoulder heads away from ears, widening through collarbones. Just warming up our spine in preparation for our standing poses. And finishing up with our last cat-cow. Bringing it back to a neutral tabletop. Head, neck, spine in one line, abs engaged. Tucking toes under. Let's go ahead and bring hips to the sky here for our first downward facing dog of the day. As we push the floor away, no tension in head, neck, or shoulders. We can keep our knees bent a lot, really pushing tailbone to the sky. Inhaling, and then as we exhale, we can slowly start to pedal those feet out. Right, left, right, left. Really pushing through palm, thumb, index finger. Just breathing space here. Releasing whatever we need to let go of. Let's come up on both toes. Take a deep bend in both knees, laying our belly on our thighs, really pushing the floor away, tailbone to the sky. Inhaling here, and as we exhale, straightening legs, bringing heels back to the earth. Let's go ahead and bring it forward to a plank pose. Pushing heels to the back wall. You're welcome to drop to your knees in plank. You can take it back to a tabletop if you're in traditional plank. Strong core, abs engaged. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Inhaling and coming forward again to a plank pose. Let's go ahead with those elbows hugged in tight next to ribs. Let's release all the way down onto our mats for just a few low cobras. So head down, face down, hands next to ribs, legs together, exhaling out on the inhale. Just lifting up head, neck, and chest here in our first low cobra, stretching crown of the head to the front of the room, lifting up through those kneecaps, shoulder heads away from ears, breathing space into that low back, and then exhaling, face back down to the mat. Take one more low cobra, exhaling out on the inhale, lifting up. You can keep it here at low cobra, stretching crown of the head forward. If you want to take full cobra, you're welcome to place hands on the outsides of your mat, straightening arms here, bringing it more into a low back stretch, keeping those kneecaps lifted, and then releasing back, head down, face down on your mat, hands next to ribs, tucking toes under. Taking it back to a plank pose, and then bringing it back to downward facing dog. Let's go ahead and slowly walk our feet up to meet our hands, and we're going to bring it into our ragdoll pose. So feet hip width apart, bending over for our forward fold, our Uttanasana. You can have hands down on blocks or the mat, or you can hook arms at elbows as we shift our weight from foot to foot, side to side. In our ragdoll pose, you should be able to shake your head yes and no. There's no tension in that head or neck. Abs still engaged to protect the low back. And then slowly, as we come to stillness in the center, slowly rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, making our way to the top with that head and neck coming up last, and then finding ourselves in our mountain pose. Good morning, yogis. All right, taking just a minute here to check in with our feet, making sure we're standing solidly in all four corners of our feet. Abs engaged, long and tall in our spine, shoulder heads rolled away from ears. Top of our mat. Inhaling, we reach up, sweeping arms overhead, fingertips to the sky. Exhaling, we fold all the way over, our forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, planting both hands top of the mat, stepping, hopping back to plank. Strong through the chaturanga. Inhaling into upward facing dog. Shoulder heads away from ears. Folding over toes as we exhale back to downward facing dog. That's our vinyasa flow. Feel free to skip the flow and go straight to downward facing dog. Nice big inhale and exhale here. Coming up on both toes, a deep bend in both knees. Walk, step, or hop, both feet top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, we fold over. Inhaling, rooting down to rise up, reaching fingertips to the sky. Sun salute. Exhaling, hands to heart center prayer. Let's do one more sun salute. Inhaling, we reach up. Exhaling, we fold over, Uttanasana. Inhaling, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhaling, planting hands, top of the mat, stepping or hopping back to your plank. Elbows hugged in tight as we take it through the chaturanga, upward facing dog. Exhaling, back to downward facing dog. Big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling, right leg backing up towards the back wall, flexing that right back foot, toes pointed down, and then slowly stepping our right front foot through in between hands, spinning that back left heel down, that back left foot at a 45-degree angle. We're going to bring it up into our warrior one. So low in that front leg, arms up, long and tall in our spine, tailbone down towards your mat, inhaling up, exhaling into warrior two, staying low in that front leg, tucking that pelvis under. Then we'll do our little pulse here, inhaling up, front leg straight, exhaling back to warrior two, inhaling, exhaling, just moving collectively with our breath, inhaling, exhaling, one more, inhaling up, exhaling, we stay here, we flip front palm to the sky, we reach forward, then reach back, reversing our warrior, opening up through that right side, staying low in that front leg, stretching, holding, breathing. And then we're going to bring that right hand down inside of right front foot. Left arm reaches long overhead here for our extended side angle pose. And then left hand down next to right hand, spinning up on back toes. Right under the sky here for our revolved side angle pose. If you want to open up through this right shoulder, you can wrap right arm around your waist. And then right hand comes inside of right front foot. We're going to release that back knee down and tucking those back toes, setting up for our low lizard lunge, deep inner groin stretch on this right side, bringing elbows to a block or the mat. Releasing that head and neck down as we open up through hips, through this right inner groin. We hold so many emotions in our hips. And as we do these deep hip openers, we release these emotions. No judgment, just letting whatever comes up, come up. Just watch it pass like you'd watch clouds pass in the sky. And then slowly releasing up. It's bring it to a runner's lunge. So back leg straight, heel lifted off the ground. Hands at heart center prayer. Inhaling up. Exhaling. Let's take it into a twist. So hooking left elbow across right knee here. Pushing those prayer hands together in our twist. And then bringing hands back, heart center prayer, taking it back to your plank, taking it through the vinyasa, inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhaling, back to downward facing dog. Tailbone to the sky, nice big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling that left leg back and up towards the back wall. And then slowly stepping our left foot through. I'm going to switch this side. We're going to bring it up into warrior one. So that back right heel spins down, back right foot at a 45-degree angle as we bring it up into our warrior one on this side. Arms up. Opening to warrior two, staying low in that front leg, gaze over that front middle left finger. And then doing our little pulse here, inhaling up. Exhaling back to warrior two. Inhaling. Exhaling, just moving collectively with our breath. One more. Exhaling. We stay here. We flip front palm to the sky. We reach forward, then reach back, reversing our warrior, opening up through this left side, stretching, holding, breathing. Then bringing it down, left hand inside of left front foot, right arm reaches long overhead for extended side angle pose. Then spinning up on back toes, right hand down next to left hand, left arm to the sky here for our revolved side angle pose. We can wrap left arm around our waist, opening up through left shoulder, really pushing that right heel to the back wall. And then releasing back knee down and tucking back toes. Left hand inside of left front foot as we scoot the outer edge of our left foot to the outer edge of our mat. Setting up for our low lizard lunge, deep inner groin stretch on this side. Have forearms to a block if you need a block, or you can bring them down to the floor. Releasing that head and neck down. And as we let go of whatever stories we're holding on to in our hips, as these old stories come up into the surface, and we let go, we can make space for something new. Again, no judgment, just observation and breathing. And then releasing up into a runner's lunge, back leg straight, back heel lifted, hands heart center prayer, inhaling up, exhaling into the twist, hooking right elbow across left knee, pushing those prayer hands together. And then hands back, heart center prayer, releasing hands down, top of the mat. Taking it through the vinyasa, upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. Nice big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling, right leg back and up towards the back wall. Slowly stepping right front foot through in between hands. Spinning that back left heel down. Bringing it up into our warrior one. Going to face this way. Then we're going to open to warrior two. And now we're going to set up for wide-legged forward fold. So we're going to bring edges of feet parallel with edges of our mat, legs apart, butt and tailbone tucked down towards the floor in our wide-legged forward fold. Arms out, wrists over ankles, inhaling up. Exhaling, we fold over. Right hand stays on the mat in front of us. Left arm comes to the sky. Let's wrap that left arm around our waist. Stretching here through legs. Elongating through that spine as we lengthen tailbone to the back wall. And then releasing left hand down on the mat in front of us. Right arm comes up, opening up into the twist on the other side, wrapping right arm around our waist. Breathing, strengthening, holding. And then releasing both hands on hips, strong core, abs engaged as we slowly bring torso up. Taking it back to warrior two, facing the front of the room. Circling both hands down, top of the mat, bringing it to a side plank pose. On this right side, left arm reaches long overhead. Beautiful work, yogis. And then releasing left hand down, top of the mat as we take it through the vinyasa, upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Nice big inhale and exhale here. Inhaling, left leg backing up towards the back wall. Sorry, my allergies are kicking up. Slowly, right back foot spins down. We're going to inhale up into warrior one. Opening to warrior two. And then we're going to set up for our wide-legged forward fold on this side. So edges of feet parallel with edges of the mat. Butt and tailbone tucked down towards the floor. We're going to interlace our hands behind our back. If you have reverse prayer hands in your practice, you can go ahead and take reverse prayer hands. Inhaling up. Exhaling, we fold over. Just breathing. Making space through our hips. Hugging those inner thighs together. Crown of the head down towards the floor. And then abs engaged, slowly bringing torso up. Taking it to warrior two, facing the front of the room. Circling both hands, top of the mat. Bringing it into a side plank pose. Other side. Sorry if I'm on the wrong side. And then slowly taking it back through our one last vinyasa flow, inhaling upward facing dog. And from here, we're just going to go ahead, bring it to a child's pose. So down on your mat, knees wide as the mat, toes together, forehead down, arms stretched long. Just breathing space here down the sides of the waist. Breathing through the hips here in our resting child's pose. And then from here, just rolling over onto our backs. Let's go ahead and bring it up for happy babies. So feet and legs to the sky, feet apart, knees apart. Either grabbing outer shins or outer edges of feet as we pull those shins down, that low back, those shoulders pressed into the earth. Soles of the feet stamping the sky. You can rock your baby or keep your baby still. And then finally hugging our knees tight to our chest, giving ourselves one final squeeze of love before releasing into our final resting pose of Shavasana, feeling free to take any props, any form of Shavasana you wish. If you want to come to reclined butterfly again, ending the same way we started, you can take traditional Shavasana. You can scoot against a wall and take legs up the wall as we come to our final resting corpse pose, Shavasana. Make today the day that you let go of all the things that no longer serve you. Let things come and go. The things that are meant to stay will stay. In the end, only three things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. Slowly starting to wiggle your fingers and toes, rolling your wrists and ankles around, bringing life back into your limbs and your body. You can gently stretch your arms long overhead, like you're just waking up from a deep sleep. And then you can gently roll over onto your favorite side and push yourself up to a comfortable seated position, facing the front of the room. Our hands gather together in Anjali Mudra at Heart Center Prayer. Just being grateful for all of the many blessings that we have and sending this gratitude out to all beings everywhere. Thank you for letting me guide you today. Namaste. Thank you, my friends. Be well. Love you, miss you.